Oh, I've got a live one here. I am sitting here with Chaney from, say it?
The Rabbit Company.
Oh, you're gonna need to speak up, sweetie. You have a very soft
Oh,
voice.
I do. The Rabbit Company. Okay, did that go through?
That went through a
The
lot better.
Rabbit Company.
The Rabbit Company, and I'm seeing your brochure. I think I got one in my swag bag.
Oh, good.
I'm pretty sure, but it's got adorable little, very cool graphic bunny ears on it. So
Sweet little ears.
are you the original Rabbit Company?
We actually are not.
Really?
We are not. The rabbit was invented many, many years ago. We're talking the 80s.
Okay.
So we are a streamlined, easier, more modern version of the
Okay.
rabbits that are in the market right now.
Okay.
We really want to deliver an easy to use, understandable product with high quality.
Yeah.
So we really feel like we're stepping into the modern age with our version of the rabbit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't sit here and talk to you without, asking about the infamous Sex and the City rabbit
Of
episode.
course, thank you, Sex and the City.
That
Catalyst,
oh
huge
my,
catalyst.
I
for us.
bought one after I saw that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was,
Absolutely.
and I bought one for my friend.
Well, the thing about the rabbits, which is beautiful, so you already have, men and women alike have identifying factors as far as rabbits go.
Okay.
So that's kind of the beauty of the rabbit. People understand, there's not a ton of bells and whistles. They understand the delivery system, the dual stimulation. They get what it's about, and it's really fun. It's not intimidating. So they're not buying a toy that they're going to go home and go, this is scary. It's understandable. Sex and the City is one of those lead-ins for us. So
Yeah.
it's great.
No, I mean, well, it was just the writing in that show was
Yeah.
so great,
Fun,
anyway.
fun.
But and the way they went about it when they did the intervention,
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously, the first time I saw it, I thought I was going to lose it
Right,
laughing because
right.
it was just so classic.
Right.
So, how many different rabbits do you guys have?
We have 5 styles.
Okay.
So all of them are dual stimulation. We do have rabbit ears, but they're all dual stimulation.
Okay.
All have 2 motors. They're all really high quality luxury silicone.
Okay.
We are rechargeable, which is a huge thing moving into the modern age
Oh,
of toys.
yeah.
We want
Yeah.
rechargeable. Much easier to use. Typically, toys with rechargeable batteries are a little higher quality as well. But our toys are super, super flexible. There are a lot of toys in the market that are great. Rigidity in toys offers a stronger vibration, but our toys are very soft and flexible because we really want our toys to work with different body types and different styles and have that kind of give in the product line.
So rechargeable, I mean, that comes up quite a bit. Colleen will
Right.
mention it on the different versions of the show sometimes. She mentions that it's generally more expensive, but probably at the end of the day, why would you say that would be a good option for people?
You're typically up front, you're paying a little bit more, but ultimately you're paying for batteries. You're having to dispose of them properly. And a lot of times you don't want to be disappointed. You come home, you forget to buy batteries, you come home, you put a battery in, or you go to use your toy and the battery doesn't work. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, talking about a mood killer.
But rechargeable is amazing because you have so much flexibility. I joke with people when I'm doing trainings on the road. They say they'll do the charge in the car or on their TV when they're streaming their pornography. So, there's a lot of flexibility in the rechargeable, but it also allows the toy to be a lot lighter. So when a woman is using the toy with just by herself, it's much easier to hold. If a partner's holding it, it's just a lighter, easier toy to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long do they take to recharge? I've never. I think that's going to be my next purchase.
Sure.
I'm going to get a
Awesome,
rechargeable
yay.
one. But how long do they take?
Ours takes about 2 hours.
Okay.
So we tell people 2 hours of charge is about 4 to 6 hours of use. But
Okay.
wink, wink, ours are quite a bit longer than that. So,
Okay.
but just to be conservative, we say about 4 to 6 hours of use.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Holds a charge.
It holds a chargeable.
It gives a charge and it holds one.
Hallelujah
Absolutely.
to that. So, what Chaney is the approximate price range of yours?
We're looking anywhere from retail about $90 to $170.
Okay.
So our toys come with a 5-year warranty, so we're offering that warranty up front to make sure that people understand the quality of the toy.
Okay.
Our toys are waterproof, so you're getting a lot of more luxury options with our pieces. So they're a little bit more pricey. It's a full silicone piece instead of partial silicone.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more pricey, but you're investing in a toy that's going to last for a long time.
Well, and that begs the question, I think. How often should people replace something like this? Okay, so if you use it for 5 years, would you say that somebody should get a new one at that point in time?
Well, my personal preference is they should have lots of options. I mean,
Okay.
for a good time, you want to have lots of options. So we offer a specific, opportunity for someone, but there's so many great toys in the market. I personally, as a consumer and a seller, have lots of different options in my home.
Okay.
I like to keep things interesting. But, each manufacturer is different. We will say that our toys will last longer than 5 years. So certainly you can replace after 5 years, but you definitely can replace before that if you feel like you want to step up and graduate through the line, because we have different offerings.
Yeah.
So every manufacturer is a little different, but ours will be every 5 years.
Okay, for sure. And I guess the thing is they probably don't exactly go stale, but
they do not. It's not perishable, so we're good. Just treat your bunnies nice.
Be nice to the bunny, yes.
Be nice to your bunny.
And the bunny will be nice to you.
Right.
No, but the technology lately seems to have been
stepped up.
Quantum leap. So
absolutely.
How often is new interesting stuff coming out in your opinion?
All the time. I mean, month to month, it depending on manufacturers, month to month there's new things. So even our line specifically, which is, thank you for the question, we have 5 pieces now, but by the beginning of next year we'll probably expand to 15 to 20.
No kidding, that's big.
Yeah. And we're really excited. This launch, it's a brand new line, but this launch has gone really strong, and we're very excited about the growth of it. So, but most manufacturers, I mean, they're releasing every 1 to 3 months.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's
a busy business.
It really is. I mean, people getting busy, so you guys need to keep up. That's amazing. Well, just on a personal note, Chaney, how long have you been in the business?
A little over 6 years.
Okay.
So Rabbit Company I've been with for less than a year, but the company I launched with the company. So they brought me on board to work with the brand.
Okay.
But I've worked in this sector for a little over 6 years.
How'd you get in the business?
A friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah?
It's a really, really close-knit environment that we all work in. Everyone's very everyone really gets along. We're all friends. So it's tough business to get into unless you kind of know somebody.
Sure.
But once you're in, you're usually a lifer.
Okay, yeah.
You're around. Why wouldn't you be? It's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an awesome thing. And I have to ask you now, how far of an area do you cover?
All over. I just came back from Australia.
Oh my gosh.
Going to Germany in October. Here in lovely Minnesota. I mean, we're all over the place. So all domestic and tons of international.
Okay, so I got to know.
Sex travels.
Well, what's it like traveling with samples?
It's actually quite a bit of fun. I have an interesting story that occurred last week. I had a lost piece of luggage, and all of my vibes were in my luggage. And when my lovely airline asked me for identifying factors as to what would be in my luggage when they opened it, I said, well, you're going to find some lingerie, and you're probably going to find a slew of vibrators. And the silence on the ends of that line was
palpable.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt it. So, I always make sure my little bunnies are on travel lock. But it is definitely an interesting
they have
time.
like a lock thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For that purpose.
Oh,
Save that battery life, my dear. Save it.
Oh my God. What, that happened to me. Oh my God, you just jarred a memory.
You're welcome.
I was moving once. I mean, this is a long, long time ago. And 2 of my guy friends had one of my big dresser drawers, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And of course, in there, the it got turned on, and it's like, and everybody. I mean, actually, moving is a very, very ugly experience. So that was
comic relief a little.
Yes, but I had to reach in there. Oh, excuse me, it's not something you really want.
Breaking the ice. Breaking the ice.
Yeah, we knew each other very well after we knew that.
I feel like you might. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Chaney, really awesome talking to you from the Rabbit Company, and we hope that you'll visit with the Great Northern Sexcast again sometime.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's been a morning marathon of lube, vibrators, bondage toys, and other things, and no slouch here. Joining me now is Brian. Hey, Brian.
Oh, Ryan.
Sorry. Ryan. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I am a little worn out from all this lubrication. I'm
That's
sure
right.
You can understand.
It's a slippery tongue. Right?
Ryan, what's your company's name?
ID Lubricants. Westridge Labs manufactures ID Lubricants.
Okay, I saw you up on the stage with a huge table full of stuff.
That's right.
What was all that?
It's a lot of lube. There's a lot of lube in our brand and a lot of nuance to lubricant, and I wanted to show the full line.
So talk about that. I mean, a lot of people just will go and grab something and say, okay, well, it is what it says it is. Tell us what some of the differences are, because you obviously are an expert.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I say there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of ingredients differentiators. There's a lot of texture differentiators. I think a lot of times people's attitude is it's just lube. And I realize, it's just lube, right? But, there's a lot of differences in the way that these things feel. And at the end of the day, this is about enhancing pleasure. And so the kind of playtime somebody wants can really be tailored with the type of lubricant that will fit that kind of play. So
Yeah. Well, let me ask you because I wouldn't even and you would think because I hang out with Colleen in the Fantasy Gifts group that I would be a little bit more knowledgeable than I am. But let's talk about the different types of people and or activities and what they might find pleasurable to match up.
Sure. I mean, I know, like for instance, pegging is a new up and coming, really fast growing play for the straight community. So you really can choose lubricants that are really ideal for that kind of play. For instance, like our ID Jelly is a thick viscosity glide formula. So it's a water-based lubricant that's really thick and it stays where you put it. So if you have a pegging, any kind of penetrator on, you can use that to lube up your penetrator, both the top and the bottom, and it's ready to go rather than something that would drip off of it.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
I suppose that could work for other types of play as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other ones that are good for specifics?
We have our ID Silk as a good one also for any kind of toys. It's a hybrid, so it has silicone and water, and it's a hydrolyzed silk protein as a binder agent to emulsify those two things together. Those really the ID Silk has the best of both worlds as far as the feel, so it's not too slick, and it also has that nice silicone feel, but it's not going to damage a silicone toy.
So that is something I think that is really important to note, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's different kinds of lube that you have to be careful with different kinds of toys.
Yeah, and typically you're not going to want to use a silicone lubricant with a silicone toy. I will say we've immersed some silicone toys in our ID Millennium in our silicone for a couple months, and it didn't do anything to them.
Okay.
But that really depends on the toy and what the toy's quality is like and what their binder agents are, as well as what the lubricant is like. So that's not safe across the board to say, but it is generally a rule of thumb that you wouldn't want to use a silicone toy with a silicone lubricant, that it would break down the toy.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So, what kinds of questions would you advise a consumer to ask, say, a staffer at Fantasy Gifts, if they were looking for lube and they wanted to get something that was better than what you could find at the drugstore?
That's a really good question. I would say that you're going to want to ask about ingredients lists and what kind of binder agents and what the history of a company is, where it's manufactured, and is it private labeled, or is somebody really coming at it that they own their company and they're building it themselves, or are they outsourcing and it's being built in China and it's just their label on it? Knowledge of a brand goes beyond just what the label looks like.
Well, yeah, because that's stuff that's going into some pretty intimate areas of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So when you say like binding agents, what does that mean, and why? What are you looking for in that question?
There's all kinds of ingredients listed in a lubricant. So for those things to hold themselves together and become one material, they usually need a list of binding agents.
So I think that it's safe to say every one of your colleagues in the different companies that are here today with Fantasy Gifts has confirmed that the industry at large has just changed. And I'm curious from your standpoint, both as a rep, a professional in the industry, and from the company and the type of product that you have, what changes have you noticed, and what do you think is good about all of that?
I'm newish to the industry. I come from the adult film side of things, and when I had the opportunity to interview with ID recently, it was a no-brainer to step in with them. What I hear and what I see really is that everyone is coming at this industry with a heart of education. People are hungry for the knowledge. We're raised in an environment, generally in the United States, where sex is taboo, and the knowledge that we get really doesn't surround it with pleasure. It surrounds it with necessity of protection and things, and makes generally sex has a negative connotation for us as Americans, I feel like, growing up. And so people are hungry and ready for this education. So what I see, my ultimate job while I'm a rep and I'm in sales, I really come at it with a heart of service, and I think we all have started to do that, where this is about education and arming the retailer with the tools to be able to have that dialogue with the consumer about how to make sex fun and make it more pleasurable, and use these products in the correct way, and people are ready and hungry for that knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure from the film side of things, you've noticed a real shift, though, also. I mean, it used to be the films are so much better now. Oh my God, than when this all first started,
My experience with film was a little bit unique. I stepped in with a company that started doing video online around the turn of the millennium when it went online, and so things things changed very quickly for that industry.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And that was a real interesting thing. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know what better means. I love some of the old 70s.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah. It's classic stuff. Debbie Does Dallas is, come on now. It's
Well,
like
that's
meant
true.
for Hollywood, I think.
That's true. But I mean, well, I like the old funny ones, the
That's
ones that
right.
are so campy
Yeah.
that they're just hysterical.
Yeah.
Those are good. Those are good. But I mean, I think the industry overall has become far more female friendly.
Absolutely, it's very female centric. I mean, I notice a lot of times, like retailers that I work with are really female branded. Their managers are all female, their buyers are female. The female buying power is very large in this country, and I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah. Now, if you were going to give some advice to someone who has either never bought lube or only bought it in a very conventional setting like a drugstore, what would you suggest to that person to get started on a way better product?
I would say buy small and buy a few different styles.
Oh, okay.
I would say talk with your retailer and get a basic water-based, get a basic silicone, and get a basic hybrid, and try them all. There are different feelings to all of those, and everybody's different, and every play is different. So sometimes you'll want to pair something with a different kind of play. So I would suggest to get those three kinds, get basics in all of those, and go from there.
Okay, yeah, and I think a good point to bring this up is the reason you're here today talking with the Fantasy Gifts crew is to tell them about all the different products that you have and how to use them so that they can, in turn, be of more help to the consumer coming in.
That's right. I mean, my ultimate goal is really to arm them with the education tools that they need to be able to talk about, not just our brand, but talk about the Fantasy Gifts brand and be able to sell their entire offering and be able to pair our brand with the things that they sell other than just lubricants. And to be able to create not just a yes but purchase where someone's just looking to add on, but be able to give Fantasy Gifts the platform to become a novelty concierge, if you will, when
Sure.
somebody walks through the door, and be able to direct them at an experience that they're really going to enjoy and be able to get that consumer to come back and ask them for more.
And I really think too that with everything that's occurred, especially in the last few years with the 50 Shades of Grey stuff and everything else, I think people are really realizing, you said something right just a second ago, lube is not an add-on, it is an essential.
That's right. I mean, lubricant really is ultimately a must-have in your playtime. I feel like it really is a good way to secure a really great experience.
Absolutely. Ryan, thank you so much
Thank you.
for sitting down with us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Thank you. I'm grateful for your time.